With the Ryzen 9 9900X being an absolute beast of a CPU, it's only fitting that it works wonderfully in a premium build. The 12 cores, clocked at 5.6 GHz, are plenty enough for productivity, and gaming performance is nothing to scoff at either. With a 120-watt TDP, the 9900X manages to stay cool under full load, allowing you to extract its full potential. Considering its excellent performance, it would not be right to cripple the Zen 5 CPU's performance with a cheap motherboard. As such, I went with the Gigabyte X870E AORUS Elite Wi-Fi. Being an X870E motherboard, it has more PCIe lanes than X870 boards, more USB 4 ports, and even a couple of extra SATA ports. It features a black PCB with enormous heatsinks on the VRMs, the chipset, and the M2 slots. Speaking of which, 3 of the 4 M2 slots support PCIe 5, while the last one supports PCIe 4. You also get a robust 20-phase power delivery configuration, meaning overclocking the 9900X will not be a problem. Finally, you get support for 256 GB of DDR5 memory at up to 8,200 megatransfers per second. For RAM, I decided to go with the Corsair Vengeance RGB 32GB kit. This particular kit is clocked at 6,400 megatransfers per second, and it overclocks quite well. With a low cast latency of 32, the timings on this kit are tight, resulting in better performance. Finally, it has some tasteful RGB lighting, providing a soft glow inside the case. Storage-wise, I went with the best PCIe Gen 4 drive out there, the Samsung 990 Pro. I recommend the 2TB version as it's the best value and has 2 GB of DDR4 DRAM cache. It's blazing fast, highly reliable, and often discounted at a lower price. To keep temperatures in check, I chose the Corsair iCUE H150i Elite CAPELLIX XT. This CPU cooler features a 360mm radiator, 3 120mm AF120 RGB fans, and a pump that features plenty of RGB. The performance is excellent, and it's one of the quieter 360mm AIOs out there. On top of that, it's quite the looker, which is something that matters when you're spending this much on a PC. To maximize the performance of the 9900X, I went with the RTX 4080 Super for the graphics card. The 4080 Super is noticeably faster than the 4080 and the AMD Radeon 7900 XTX, while also being more power efficient than the Radeon card. At this price, it has no real competitor. The only card better than this is the RTX 4090, but unfortunately, that GPU is upwards of $2,200 these days. Instead, the 4080 Super is a much better purchase. It can play all the games you want at 4K, and if you want to enable ray tracing, DLSS, and frame generation, can help you get close to those 4090 numbers. More importantly, if your focus is on competitive titles such as Counter-Strike 2, this thing is going to be a beast. You can reach frame rates as high as 400 FPS in Counter-Strike 2, so my advice is to pair it with a 360Hz monitor if you really care about competitive gaming. To power all these components, I chose the Corsair RM850X as the power supply. This is an 850-watt fully modular unit with an 80+ gold certification, so you're all set in terms of reliability. It's one of the highest quality power supplies out there as it uses high-quality resistors and capacitors. Best of all, it has near-quiet operation and enough wattage for future upgrades. All of these powerful components need a case with good airflow and sleek looks, and the NZXT H9 Elite certainly meets those requirements. Apart from the GPU, this is one of the most expensive parts in this build, but worth the cost. This chassis prioritizes aesthetics and airflow, and the dual-chambered design gives the power supply a home away from the rest of the components. In return, you get plenty of breathing room for the rest of the components, keeping temperatures low. The tempered glass panels on the front and side give you a stunning view of the components, and it can accommodate up to 10 fans in total. To conclude, this build with the Ryzen 9 9900X is an absolute powerhouse. The combination of top-tier components ensures smooth performance whether you're gaming, creating content, or multitasking. At around $2,900, it's a worthwhile investment for those who demand the best possible performance and aesthetics. Thanks for watching. I hope my suggestions have inspired you to build your own Ryzen 9 9900X PC. Remember, you can check the prices for each component mentioned in the description below. And if you're interested in more PC building suggestions and hardware reviews, be sure to check out more of my videos. Before you go, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to stay updated, and let me know your opinion and suggestions in the comments. See you in the next one.